You're not fine, you're just functioning. Lying awake at 2 a.m., replaying conversations. That quiet shame of it may be a sign. You're lying awake at 2 a.m., replaying conversations and feeling the quiet shame that may be hiding your true state. That's exactly why you're watching this, to confront the fact that functioning isn't functioning enough. That quiet shame of it may be a sign. Sometimes it hides behind a mask of productivity. What feels like emptiness can be disguised as exhaustion. It looks like you're functioning, but inside, there's a hollowness. When you read a message from a loved one, you find yourself searching for a warmth that isn't there. There's a sense of disconnection from things that used to bring joy. You start to notice a pattern of emotional numbing in your daily life experiences. That feeling of being a burden, despite appearing capable, is a weight that's hard to shake. When everyday interactions leave you feeling drained, it may be a sign that something deeper is at play. This next piece reframes everything that came before it. What is it about rehearsing a conversation that already happened at 2 a.m. that feels like a desperate attempt to control the chaos within? Sometimes, this replaying of conversations can be a subtle sign that you're trying to rewrite your own narrative in an effort to make sense of the traumatic experiences stored beneath the surface. It's a common phenomenon rooted in trauma research, where Dr. Bessel van der Kolk notes that traumatic experiences are not stored as memories with a clear narrative, but rather as sensations, images, and physical responses. When this replaying becomes an all-consuming loop, it may be a sign that your coping mechanisms are kicking into high gear to mask the pain and emptiness you feel inside. You might find yourself using these behaviors to fill the void left by unresolved trauma, only to realize later that they're actually preventing you from truly healing. The mind is a complex web of responses, and it's time to start unraveling some of those threads to uncover the hidden patterns beneath your surface-level functioning. You're functioning at work, but inside you're empty. Dr. Sue Johnson's research found adult conflict is rarely about what it appears to be. Underneath, it's an attachment fear. Am I still safe with you? Staying in a conversation long past the point you wanted to leave. This is the cost of constant pretending. You're smiling in public but hollow at home. The exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix is real, except it wasn't just about being tired. Feeling like a burden despite appearing capable is a heavy load. You're starting to lose the things that once brought you joy. This micro-moment happens when you're scrolling through social media and come across a 3-word text that sparks 17 possible meanings. I'm good. The irony lies in how our minds try to find patterns and significance in these innocuous phrases. Dr. Daniel Wegner's ironic process theory research at Harvard in 1994 explains this phenomenon as the human brain's tendency to actively suppress thoughts, which paradoxically makes them stronger and more resistant to being pushed away. When we try to suppress a thought, our brains become hypervigilant, monitoring for it more intensely, thereby keeping it active. This is because the mind's default mode network is wired to conserve resources by suppressing irrelevant information. This constant battle between suppression and reemergence can lead us down rabbit holes of interpretation, where a simple phrase like "I'm good" becomes a complicated exploration of our inner state. Our minds start to ask themselves, what does it mean that they're saying "I'm good"? Are they being honest or just trying to avoid conflict? In reality, the answer might be something in between, a complex mix of emotions and intentions that can't be reduced to a simple 3-word phrase. You might prepare elaborate apologies for others before they've even uttered a word, out of a deep-seated need to repair relationships and alleviate your own anxiety. This behavior is rooted in Dr. Carol Dweck's groundbreaking research on mindset, where praising children for their intelligence rather than effort can create fragility and reluctance to take risks. As this pattern becomes more apparent, you may start to notice that others are rarely surprised or even concerned by your actions. In fact, they might even assume you're simply too polite or too considerate, unaware of the emotional labor that's taking place behind the scenes. This subtle dance between people-pleasing and emotional exhaustion can be incredibly exhausting, both mentally and physically. So, acknowledge this pattern in yourself. What small steps can you take today to start honoring your own emotions, rather than trying to manage others? We've left the question of what happens when we're stuck in a cycle of self-sabotage open. Living with that uncertainty is part of the process, and it's okay to be uncertain. Subscribe next week to explore why people who are most desperate for love often give up on it first.